Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Jydge, and yes, that is apparently how you pronounce it, despite the fact that they have put a Y instead of a U in there, and they do that with a lot of things in this game too, and it's actually kind of obnoxious, but let's just get into it, shall we? We got a few things in the options that I want to go through first, because they're quite important. You got your typical audio options there. Here's your controls. You have the ability to auto-aim, and you can also turn off the right stick triggering melee if you're aiming at an enemy or a wall that's really close to you. Auto-aim in this game, however, is kind of useless, and we'll get into why soon. You can change the screen shake, and you can also put on a tilted camera angle. However, I do not recommend having this on, despite the fact that it's on by default, and I'm going to play a level with it on just to show you what it's like before I go and turn it off. You can also show your enhancements during the game, which is just a thing in the bottom right that shows up when you go into the levels, which is a neat little thing to have, but not entirely necessary. So, I am currently at the beginning of Act 3. I have gone through and finished all of Act 1 and Act 2, which is 10 levels. However, I do need to point out a little bit of an issue here. For some reason that I really don't understand why, they require you to have 55 medals, which is literally 5 medals away from having everything in Act 1 and Act 2 before they let you move to Act 3. But then they unlock 2 levels at once, more or less. I can't get to this level because I haven't finished Neighborhood Watch yet, but as soon as I do, I'd be able to. And it's kind of frustrating, if you want me to be perfectly honest, just because I found it really, really frustrating trying to get all these medals, because some of them are actually really hard to get, but we'll get to that shortly. So, we've got a few things we can do. You have some achievements here, and you can actually see all the difficulty levels, and there's a reason why I want to point out all the difficulty levels, because trust me, there's a very good reason. You have Cyberware that you can equip to your dude. You can unlock extra slots for a little bit of extra money. You get tons of money playing this game, so don't feel worried about not having enough money to buy something, because trust me, you will always have some money. But you can equip Cyberware to your Jydge, and Cyberware does a ton of different things. Like, I'm not even going to bother explaining what they all do. Just have a look in the bottom left corner there, and you can see all the different kinds of effects that you can apply to your Jydge. Because a ton of these are useful for a bunch of different things. So, you can use, say, the enemies cannot spot you while you remain in the dark, and Chameleon, you are undetectable while stationary. You can use that for, what's it called? You can use that for stealth missions. Or you can take along things like Bullet Dodger for survival missions, or you can take along Fast Legs for missions where you have to be really fast. Basically, it means that you can just equip yourself however you want and play the game however you want. However, there are some objectives in this game which basically require builds, and what I would like to see from like an update is the ability to save loadouts, both for this and the gavel, which we'll get to. But as you can see, I've got some pretty basic stuff here. But if I need to do something else in order to get, like, say, a extra, get an objective or something, we can always come back and change it. So here we have the gavel, and the gavel works the same way as the Jydge itself. You can pick your primary and secondary weapon, and I've got a fair few here. They do have a lot, and you unlock things like Cyberware and new fire types and stuff as you beat missions and get medals. So you'll always be unlocking something new to try out. Personally, I prefer the Rapid Plasma, and you'll understand why. Also, it's Ripid, not Rapid. I don't even know why they replaced the Y there. And they replaced the O there with the rockets. Like, what the fuck are they doing? I don't even know, but yeah. You've got a ton of different kinds of, like, secondary weapons and stuff you can use as well, which is great, because it means that you can play the game however you want. I like my heavy rockets because they can help me blow through walls really quick, and your weapons can also be upgraded for more damage. You do also have a bunch of upgrades that you can use for your gun as well, and there are a bunch of other things here that you might not expect, like, for example, bloody vampirism, and then there's stuff that can actually upgrade your melee damage to make melee actually viable. However, Pain Gavel, increase your melee damage by 1,000 but lower your health by 75%. I don't know how you could possibly live through that. I really don't. But anyway, I'm just going to take Rapid Fire. I've got enough heavy rockets to make do for the time being. So let's actually just stop going through the menus and go and do Neighborhood Watch, I guess. So our objectives are to save the hostages, don't get spotted, and eliminate the targets. The targets are the red skulls, and you can also see where the other objectives are via the green things, and if there are other objectives, they'll be shown on the map as well, and you can also access it via the pause screen. So here we are. This is Jydge, whatever you want to call it. And this is the... Seriously, this hurts my eyes. This is horrendous. It's really bad. But yeah, this is Jydge. And Jydge is a very simple game to understand. You have to go through and do your objectives. You do this via twin stick combat. It really is that simple. You can see your health below your character there, and all you need to do is go and do the objectives, and then you can just go back to your car and leave. Or the first objective is what I should be saying, because the first objective is the only objective that is required. You can do the other two objectives at your will, so you don't really have to worry about, You don't really have to worry about getting the other two objectives done, which is good, because getting the other two objectives done is actually surprisingly difficult from time to time. Alright, we're gonna get this guy out of here. We need to get him to the exit, and I imagine the exit is going to be quite a distance away. Thankfully, he's a pretty good runner. If they focus on me, we should be alright. Yep, he made it to the exit. So now we need to go and find the other dude. Where's the other dude? I do have my map right here. So yeah, right, he's back up the top there. I just need to weasel my way through here. You can break down walls like you could in Neon Chrome, because this is basically a Neon Chrome prequel. They more or less call it that. They call a news station that shows up as part of cutscenes. Wow. Okay, that was a really quick. That was a really quick what's it called? Death. But anyway, we're gonna try that again so we can get to the next level. So yeah, we have to go and do that all again, unfortunately. Kinda sucks, but we'll deal with it, I guess. You can charge up your melee attack by holding the melee button down, which is nice. Neat little thing you can do to help you break through walls quicker if you really need to do it. And there's just a couple of other things like heavy rockets. There we go. So basically the whole thing is about building up the resources to customize your Jydge. And to do that, you need to basically just wail on enemies, confiscate loot boxes, and just do whatever you feel the need to do in order to earn all the money. And you get a ton of money in this game. Like, seriously, the amount of money you get is kind of ridiculous. You'll earn a bunch of money just by doing medals. Then you'll get stuff along the lines of, you get to die now, thank you. You'll earn a bunch of medals doing stuff. You'll earn a bunch of money just doing medals. But then again, as you saw, there are also these loot boxes that are sitting around that you need to get. There's a purple one there, but I can't get to that because I don't have the hacking tool. Where's the other hostage? He's over there next to the gang lord, right. Now, I don't want to take this too quickly, because if I... There we go. Because if I hit that container there, it'll just blow up and kill everybody. Wow, okay, apparently he can actually hit that now. Alright, I'm going to change my cyberware just so I don't end up failing that again. We are going to change our cyberware to... I don't need fast legs. What I could use, however, is the citizen health plan, which will make them actually likely to survive a shot. Let's give that another shot, shall we? Right, we'll go up here first. Take out the turrets before we do anything else. Because these turrets are a massive pain in the dick. So yeah, the main gameplay loop is get medals, go in, shoot dudes, get medals, get money, use that money to get cyberware to help you get more medals. That's basically it. There is nothing else to it, more or less, right? So the actual gameplay itself is pretty good. Like, the actual shooting of the dudes is pretty fun. Like, there's a lot of effects, there's a lot of dudes. The game just turns into semi-bullet hell from time to time, which is even better, just because of all the dodging and stuff you need to do. And there is cyberware that'll make you smaller, so that you can have a little bit more fun playing bullet dodgy mechanics. And it's great. But you've also got a bunch of other things you can do as well. Like you've got you've got all your different kinds of weapons, and of course you can go stealth mode, and there's just a bunch of things that you can do. And the way this game works is that it encourages replayability of the missions because, oh god, it encourages replayability of the... Fuck you, asshole! Jesus! I swear, these guys just love getting themselves killed, but anyway. Actual game itself, pretty fun. There are a couple of things about it that I don't like, though. As I said before, the missions are encouraged to be repeated, because not only do you have multiple missions that you can, multiple objectives that you can do by just playing, for example, just by playing the levels over and over again, you can do all sorts of different missions and take on the missions in all kinds of different ways and what have you. Not only can you do that, but every level has 4 difficulties. I haven't unlocked the 3rd or 4th difficulties yet. I assume they get unlocked, like, further into the game. But when you unlock new difficulties, you unlock the ability to play through the missions over and over again in order to get more stuff done. Which is fine in theory. But as I said before, the game requires you to get a lot of medals before you can actually, the game requires you to get a lot of medals before you can actually move on to the next set of levels, which is really frustrating because it means you also have to play the levels on hardcore and play some levels that are just, well, really difficult. Like, that's seriously the only way to describe some of them. Really freaking difficult to do. I will go back and play a couple of those levels just so you get a better idea of what's going on, but yeah, that's the general gist of it. It's just, it can be really hard sometimes. And some of the things the game doesn't really help. Like, you see that I've had some massively bad luck with, like, explosive containers, and there are mines all over the place that can just screw you over. Trying to do some levels unseen is a real bitch, because the general reactions of some of the enemies don't seem to be entirely consistent. We're getting out of here before I fail this mission again somehow. See, I got a bunch of credits for finishing the level and all that. New weapon mod. Right, so we get a new level to go to, so we're going to go do that. Eliminate Vins and Lans, collect some evidence, and destroy all the enemies. That seems a lot easier to handle than getting those bloody civilians out. Right, I forgot to turn off the camera. Can I actually turn it off from here? I can, so let's turn that off, shall we? There we go. That's a lot more comfortable. It makes the twin stick make slightly more sense. But yeah, I much prefer playing in this mode. There are a couple of other things that the game does as well, like you have enemies that are in the level for the first time. Excuse me. You have levels that are in the enemies that are in the level for the first time, and you also have these colored doors. And these colored doors require keys to unlock. However, once you die. Once you collect, like, keys, just as an example, once you collect keys and use them on the specific door, they stay unlocked forever. You might think, well, why is this a problem? It doesn't sound like too bad of a thing. It actually sounds like a good thing. Well, there are some objectives that require you to go through a level really fast, and the only way you can get through the level at the speed they want you to for those sorts of objectives is to have all the doors unlocked and all of the enemies that you can't beat very easily killed the first time around. So you have to go through the levels at least once in order to, like, unlock all the doors and to beat all the enemies that don't show up the first time. Right, I need the yellow key for that door. What does the red key unlock? It probably unlocks something, I just don't know what yet. So it means that the game more or less forces replayability. I mean, it doesn't really force it in the grand scheme of things, but if you want to get all the objectives done, you have to go through the levels more than once. Guaranteed in most situations, right? And that is surprisingly frustrating. Like, I'd love to see a level, well, I'd love to see a amount of level design where you could do all the objectives in one go the first time through. But there are some levels where it is legitimately impossible to do that. And that's kind of frustrating. It's not the biggest problem in the world, but I gotta say, it is something that just irks me. It irks me beyond belief. And considering this is a game where you have to do the objectives, right? You have to do them in order to move on. Considering that you have to do that, and I am really trying to... I'm being very specific here. You have to do that in order to perform some of the objectives. It just turns into a bit of a grind, going into the levels, unlocking all the doors, beating all the enemies that you can, and then starting on the extra objectives. It kind of drives me mad. Is there another enemy around here? There's got to be another enemy around here, because I haven't killed every enemy in the level yet. There he is. Sure, there are some levels that you can, but there are some that you just can't, and it's just really frustrating. But thankfully, we were actually able to do all the objectives in this one. There are also some levels that have containers that you can only open via hacking tools, and you have to go go through the levels again with the hacking tool in order to finish that level's objective. It's just, yeah. It's just some things that just really get on your nerves. Defuse the bombs in 50 seconds. I get the idea that this is going to be a bit of an issue. Thankfully, you don't have to do all 3 of them at once, so you can go in and you can kill all the enemies, and it'll even count if you die, so you don't have to finish the level, even if you complete the objective. So, you know, that's really good, right? That's really good just because it means that you're not absolutely screwed, right? I'm gonna have to restart the level. But thankfully this does give me the way I have to go through to get through. So I have to go up and then left, and then I have to go down left to get to the next door. So it's just a couple of things that are just minor niggles, but considering that you have to put in an absolute ton of effort, I need to get the red key. Where's the red key? Considering that you have to put in an absolute ton of effort to get these objectives done, just every little niggle in this game does become a bit of an issue to deal with. Just after a while of trying to grind 55 out of 60 medals in order to move on to the next set. And there is another thing that gets in the way as well. Like, the actual shooting gameplay is fun, sure. I'm going to die, right? So the key was down here all along. So I need to come down here to get to it. Then I need to come back up here to unlock her, but I imagine as soon as I... Yep, there we go. As you saw, the little message up there said the door is permanently unlocked, so now I don't have to go down and get the... Now I don't have to go down and get the key, so I can play this, and then we can try and play the mission on bloody hardcore mode, which will change everything up, but yeah. So, the one thing about this game's gunplay that I don't like, there's a lot of weapons and they all feel significantly different. Actually, there's 2 things about this game's gunplay that I don't like, but yep, I just blew myself to shit because I need to get that guy away from the bomb before I actually try and defuse it. Fair enough, I guess. But the one thing I don't like about, well, the 2 things I don't like about this game's gameplay is that it outright lies to you about the weapon ranges. So you end up in a situation where you'll be trying to do something. Oh god. That's gonna blow up the bomb, isn't it? Well, it blew up the bomb, but I didn't die. I'll take that. So yeah, you got your ranges, but the ranges just seem to be outright lies. It's weird. Like, they claim that the sniper can shoot really far, but it doesn't seem to be able to shoot much farther at all in comparison to, like, other weapons that have similar sort of ranges. The ranges are just weird, and I'm not entirely sure what they're getting at. And it's screwed me a few times as well, with, like, enemies that I'd like to kill before they see me, but it appears that the... You know, I'm gonna try this mission again. Exit in 15 seconds and rescue all civilians. That's interesting. So, hardcore difficulty, as I said before, changes up all the objectives, and it actually might change the stage completely, which is a really nice touch. But the other problem I have with the game's gunplay as well is that... Yeah, I'm definitely going to need the keys to actually get this one done in 15 seconds, which is kind of annoying, honestly, and I took tons of damage there because I didn't realize that guy didn't die. I'm probably going to fail this run through. But as I was saying, Great, brain just failed. The game's guns have a weird idea of what accuracy is. And this is why the auto-aim doesn't help out very much, because the way accuracy in this game works is that you aren't accurate. You are not accurate if you are moving. You will always lose accuracy if you are moving. So, and on guns that are like the sniper rifle, for example, if you are moving when you fire the game's sniper rifle, you will not hit shit. And for a game like this, which seems insistent on its, like, twin-stick shooteriness, like, I know that sounds like a weird thing, but just hear me out here. In a game that can almost, quote, almost devolve into bloody bullet hell bullshit from time to time, to have it so that your shots are less accurate when you're moving seems to be going against the entire idea of the game. It's really odd. I'm not sure what they're going for there. There is also... Actually, what am I saying? No, there's not actually also anything else, honestly. It's, that's pretty much it. I mean, the actual gameplay is still fun. It's just a little bit weird that they seem insistent on... It's a little bit weird that they seem insistent on having the aiming be so weird when you are moving, just because it's a twin-stick shooter that has a little bit of extra bullet hell stuff going on with it. So basically what I'm saying is I like it, I just wish it was a little bit more forgiving. Like, you know, take away, or at least minimize the amount of sway when you're moving. I would really like to see that completely minimized. I would like to see a little bit extra, like, level progression. Make it so you require less medals. I would like to see what the other difficulties are like before I really go and say that I'd like a full-on rebalance of the game. But at the same time, if those things were changed, if the game was just, you know, like, slightly easier, I'd be pretty happy to recommend Jydge, because it would be a lot more enjoyable if just a couple of things were tweaked to make the game just that tiny bit more tolerable. But there are just some things that just piss me off just enough to make me say, wait for it to go on sale, but possibly not by much. Like, seriously, just a couple of dollars off would be great, in my personal opinion, to have to... I make this sound, like, really strange, but to deal with the game's difficulty and just overall... Right, that was the bomb. I should not have shot at the bomb. I'm gonna put on a different weapon just so you can see what, Actually, I can't change... Oh, yeah, fire mode. I have to go to fire mode. Let's put on, We'll put on the sniper. I'll show you what I mean when I say there's weapon sway and you can't hit shit while you're using it. I don't want rapid fire, because rapid fire for the sniper is completely useless. What can I do for it? Weapon magazine size is tripled. Why the hell not? Give me 9 bullets in the bloody thing. And, stun grenades. That might actually be useful, so we'll use stun grenades as a special weapon this time. But yeah, if it was just a tiny bit rebalanced, I'd be happy to recommend it. But now I just want to say... maybe if you're willing to deal with the just overall difficulty, if you want a real challenge, if you want the big challenge of having to... If you want the challenge of needing to play the levels over and over again and find the absolute best loadout for... Wow. Yeah, that guy is super strong. But there's the key. So as long as I get down to the key and use it to unlock the door, it'll be fine. I just need to get past him, though. Thankfully, the game does actually have workable stealth. So I'll just sauna my way down here. Make sure this door is unlocked for my next run. Throw out a stun grenade. Well, I managed to hack one of them, so if I can... Alright, let's give this another shot. It's definitely got that one more try feeling behind it. I just think it's that tiny little bit frustrating for its own good. Just a slight rebalance would work wonders and make the game a hell of a lot more fun. As you can see, I need to get through this one without taking any damage whatsoever, which is a massive pain in the teeth. So now I can actually get into this door. So let's throw this stun grenade in. Shot the fucking bomb because I was moving and I was aiming for the first guy, but yeah. Let's give that another shot. And there was a reference to Crimson Land right there, which they also made. I saw that on the loading screen. Don't think you can sneak that past me. If you're looking for that sort of thing where it's hard enough to encourage you to go through and play the levels over and over and over again, just so that you can get your good equipment and get the absolute best run of a level imaginable, then you will probably love Jydge. You'll probably have a fantastic time with it. And if that's what you're looking for, go nuts. Just go absolutely nuts. But yeah, there we go. So I don't mind it, and I'll probably wait for a patch and hope that it like balances out a bit before I go and play it some more. But yeah, I like it. I think it's pretty good. Just needs that little bit of extra, tiny little bit of extra polish there, just to make it a lot more fun than it currently is. But there you go. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm done. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.